That's the Answorth shirt that they got me.
Oh, wow.
Very well, thank you. Considering everything at the minute with the virus and stuff, it's strange times, but coping well. To be honest, obviously, I'm proud of my achievements throughout my footballing career, and obviously, I know Answorth hadn't been going a long time, but still to be part of their history and their all-time leading goal scorer at minute is obviously a nice feeling for myself. They're all important goals, you know. There's nothing like really massively that stands out. Obviously, the 40-goal season I had jointly shared with Kieran Wells was a very, very good season for us. There were many good goals in there, very memorable moments. But, you know, like I said, I take pride in every goal that I score, and, you know, they all mean the same at the end of the day. And if it contributes to a winning side and a successful team, then that's the most important thing. As a young lad, you always aspire to become a professional footballer. My career did start at Leeds United when I got picked up from playing for the school, and obviously the stuff that I learned there as a young lad obviously stood me in good stead for the remainder of my career. Things didn't quite work out at Leeds, not through no fault of trying. At that time of life, you know, my parents were busy trying to get over to training 3-4 times a week. You know, I just couldn't do it, so I had to leave. Carried on, obviously, hard with my schoolwork, and then when I left school, I managed to get a contract at Oldham. Spent 4 years there. Again, learnt a lot. You know, training with the first team on a regular basis and things. And again, not through trying. It was just, you know, circumstances. And I don't think young lads, you know, maybe 15 years ago got the chances, you know, that they are getting these days. And I thought it'd be better to move back home and sort of like play semi-pro football, see my family. And that's where it all started, really. And then, yeah, I started off at Allen. Had some great times there. Moved on to Buxton. Great club, great fan base, some great times. Scored a lot of goals for both them clubs. And then, obviously, you know, I started maturing a little bit and getting into my early 20s. Got picked up by Worksop. Again, fantastic club. And I've been fortunate throughout my career from there on, signed for Boston. You know, that's one of the highlights of my career there, signing for them and playing in front of sort of 4,000 people on my debut. You know, I'm only used to playing in front of, you know, 300-400, but to go there and have that kind of, you know, debut was fantastic. And then, yeah, I spent some great times there, and spent some really, really, really good times at Belper. You know, really didn't want to leave that football club, if I'm honest, but circumstances changed again, and I was looking at, you know, Answorth, which I had a good relationship with Pete White, who was a chairman back then. He phoned me up. The manager, Pete Duffield, who I believe, you know, been massive in my non-league career, if I'm honest with you. Some people get along with him, some people don't.
Yeah.
But how he used to manage football teams and how we used to get teams to play football and win games, you know, that's where I had my best seasons, both at Belper and at Answorth. So yeah, you know, it's been a long journey, a very memorable one. I'm 38 now. I'm still trying to do as best I can for Staveley, and I'll just keep going for as long as, you know, my body will let me, really. I mean, when we started off at pre-season, there was a new manager in place, a new chairman in place. There was like the club was changing, and no one was probably expecting that kind of atmosphere and that kind of attendance come the first game of the season. But yeah, like I said, walking out of that tunnel and, you know, to that kind of noise and that kind of atmosphere, I was lucky to get the winning goal as well. And I didn't know what to do with myself. I think I just ran and jumped in the crowd, and it, you know, like I said, fantastic feeling. And yeah, that'll live long in the memory of that moment. Do you know what? I love coaching, and again, you know, with how things went at Belper, it was pretty sad really, because like I say, Pete Duffield was the manager there, and we just got promoted into the Evo Stick Prem, and we were all really looking forward to competing against them so-called kind of teams. We got off to a bad start, and Duffield, he lost his job, or I suppose mutual consent, and it all just came about all of a sudden. I offered just to take a training session. We took a training session, it went well. Took another training session, that went well. Actually, I was on my own because Mark had already departed the club, actually. So I was on my own, and it came to the Saturday game, and the club secretary, Dave Laughlin, just said, "John, we've not got anybody in place. Can you pick a side?" Which we did, and we'd not won a game all season, and it just, it's probably, I don't know whether, luck or whatever's on your side, but we went and won 5-0. And I had a good relationship with the fans then. They all thought I was probably, the next Ginger Mourinho. It's not as easy as some people might think, and there's a lot of hard work that goes into being the man in charge, and some of these managers out there at the minute, I take my hat off to them, because there is there's so much work that has to be done behind the scenes to create a successful side. But I enjoyed it. It probably stood me in good stead. Things didn't go as I would have liked to have done at Belper. I believe that when I did bring Mark back, I believe we did a great job. I think there was a difference in football on the pitch, and we're playing better football, but we just got promoted. We needed to strengthen, which is hard to do. Players already signed and contracted to clubs. We were trying. We turned that corner, and the club decided to go in another direction and bring in a guy called Jimmy Albans and his sidekick. And I'm not gonna start slating people over a Zoom call, but they sort of put an abrupt end to my career at Belper, and it's something that that grates on me a little bit, and I don't really want to bump into him if we're on honesty. But then, like I said, I got a new lease of life. Pete Duffield, obviously, he went and he was doing a cracking job at Handsworth. He knew my situation at Belper. He was straight on the phone, and I've been fortunate to play at some good football clubs in my career, and Handsworth is right up there. The people behind the scenes, the people that go amiss, your Mike's, your John, Steenrod, Steve A, John Ward, all of them behind there, worked tirelessly hard to make that football club, what it is today. And again, I take my hat off to them, and it was a pleasure playing for Handsworth. Some great moments, and I got the opportunity to move on with Mark Ward to manage AFC Mansfield. And at that time of my career, I'm thinking, do I want to go back down that road? And I did. And obviously, Mark being my good pal, I thought it would be a good move. But yeah, AFC Mansfield, they didn't get what they wanted. They ended up being relegated, and that's history now. And I actually came back to Belper for a brief stint pre-season, got myself super fit, and decided that I wanted to play week in, week out again. They couldn't guarantee me that, so I signed at Staveley. And again, been fortunate throughout my career. They've took me under their wing, and at this moment in time, looking after me, making sure I'm training how I can train at the minute, because like I say, I am 38, and things are going well. I'm looking forward to the season starting again. We were flying. The team really gelled quite quickly for a young side that they are, and things were looking really promising. Liversidge were challenging us. I'm not going to go on and say, we're definitely going to win it, because who knows? But we were certainly going to get promoted last year, and then obviously with what happened with COVID, sort of put an end to what would have been a very, very promising season. And it was sad, really. But hopefully, we can move on from where we left off, and we can start this season well and finish what we started. The new thing is, like I said, I knew Pete Whitehead. I knew how he worked, and the main reason for me signing at Handsworth at that time was probably the management team of Pete Duffield and Mick Godber, because of the success that we'd had at Belper. And yeah, obviously at the time, Handsworth were playing at Sandy Lane. They're set their workshops ground second to none, probably one of the best around. So yeah, the whole sort of everything about it, felt right. And it's, we're only 15, 20 minutes from where I live. So yeah, it all just worked really well. And like I say, I'm grateful for the opportunity I got there, and I really enjoyed my time there. Really, really did. Most important goal. Sometimes, your most important goal is probably when you go on a good cup run, and you sort of like score a winner against sort of like one of the big teams and things like that. We didn't really have many big cup runs, if I'm honest. We were just sort of like really consistent in the league. So I think one of the most important goals, is probably when I got my 40th goal from the penalty spot with about 3 minutes to go. And obviously put the ball down, and I'm thinking, well, Wells has already got 40. I'm on 39. If I miss this penalty, I'm never going to live this down. So once that went in, I would probably say, that's probably one of the most important goals for myself, just to make sure he didn't beat me to that golden boot that season, because I couldn't have lived with him having that over me, You make relationships, you make partnerships throughout the spine of the team, and you can't not like him. He's class in the changing room. He'd come and visit me, come and visit my kids, my family, when we weren't training or playing, or even before we're setting off to a game. So you sort of build relationships. It works both ways, I got on well, and I were interested in what he did in his life and stuff. But yeah, you can't not like the kid. He can get a bit on top sometimes, but no, he's a smashing lad. And I have a laugh and a joke with him and said to him, I've taught him everything he knows, and probably deep down he knows that as well. That's why he's probably gone on and been successful in his career so far. Yeah, my grandpa, as I call him, Redfern, he spent 20 years at Sheffield Wednesday, and his father also played at Sheffield Wednesday. So yeah, he was like a big influence when I was young. He used to come and watch me play and give me advice and things like that. But my dad was a very, very good footballer. He played, quite high up non-league. He played under Neil Warnock at Burton. He played at a good standard, my dad. So between my dad and my grandpa, they're the biggest influences on my career, certainly. And my dad follows me. He's covered every blade of grass with me. He comes to games. He stands there, and it's a pleasure when I walk out, to see him there, watching me. And it's a proud moment when my dad, he's still there now, and he's still watching me, and he comes to every game. So yeah, I like to think I've done them too proud. But yeah, they've been their biggest influence on me. Like I said, yeah, I have personal goals in non-league football. I've probably achieved them all. Yeah, I've got golden boots. I've got leading goal scorers. Been in that Evo Stick Team of the Year a few times. And then when they did that vote, I don't even know. I don't even know how many people's even probably played in the Evo Stick. It's got to be. I wouldn't even like to think it's got to be tens of thousands. So when that voting started, to sort of like. It went right down to sort of like the last 1,000, then it went like down to the last 200. I'm thinking, God, I'm still in this. And then it went like down to the last 100. And it got down to number 57, which, considering the amount of people that must have played in that, that's up there with one of the great achievements of my career, certainly. Getting accolades from fans and obviously your teammates is obviously, nearly equally as good as that, if not as good, So I have been fortunate, and I have, I can look back on my career and think, well, yeah, I've nearly touched 1,000 non-league goals. I'm not, give or take a few. My dad's got me down as 511 goals. It's not a bad innings, that. So I'll look back and think I've not done a bad job in my time in the league. Moving forward, what's next? I'm going to carry on. I'll keep going wherever I can. Staveley, like we've just touched on, I've got big aspirations again this year. that's a great club. That's going places. You know, they're having the pitch redone. Great foundations there for their future. And you know, I just want to help them this year, kick on again if possible, and do that club proud. Really appreciate that, and like I say, thanks to everybody at Handsworth. Obviously, this is for Amber's TV, so yeah, thanks to everyone there. I know they've signed some good players this year. I still keep my eye on them, and I wish everyone at the club, the players, the coaching staff, you know, I wish them all the best this year. Apart from when they first did.